Hello. I feel like every time I make one of these videos, I start it by saying, wow, it's been a while since I've made one of these videos. But I mean, it's true. It's been a minute. So hello, welcome back. I have a cup of tea and 2 broken nails. We're gonna ignore the nails. And it's time for some therapy. I'm just kidding. I am not a therapist. Disclaimer, I am not a professional. I just work here. My mug says, "You are my sunshine." I love cheesy mugs. I have this tattoo of a little sun because I used to always sing this song to my mom. So that is why I have this mug and this tattoo. Anyway, for today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about beliefs. I feel like this is like a foundational conversation. I strongly believe that your beliefs really do like shape your world and shape your reality, and what you believe to be true is what's true to you. Our beliefs about our world, about ourselves, they really are the shapers of our day-to-day life. I think that positive or negative, when you repeat something to yourself enough, it really does become a truth to you, and it really does manifest itself into your life. And like when you repeat something enough, you believe it. And that could either be a strength or it could be something that limits you and holds you back. Subconsciously, there are so many beliefs in our life that are like deeply rooted that we might not even be aware of. And we're just feeding ourselves that narrative and that pattern of, this is what I believe about myself, this is what I believe about my life, this is what I believe about this situation, this is the meaning that I give X, Y, and Z, this is a pattern that I'm going to repeat, this is a reaction that I'm going to have, and we'll continue to repeat this over and over and over. Life goes in cycles. I think that there are always lessons to be learned, and there are things that we attract into our life because of these cycles and because of these beliefs that we have formed. And that'll just continue to happen time and time again, over and over, unless we challenge those and unless we challenge ourselves and our beliefs. And it doesn't necessarily mean that all of these beliefs are bad, but a lot of the time we don't even think about it. Like, do you think about what beliefs are limiting you right now? And it could just be like little subconscious things that we're saying to ourselves. I can't do this thing. I can't be this person. I'm to this. I'm to that. I'm not enough. And I notice myself doing it all the time. Like, oh, I can't do that thing. I've never been able to do that thing. Is that true, or is that just like some truth that I've formed for myself because I've told myself over and over again and I started believing it? We feed ourselves these beliefs all our lives. I've talked about it before, like subconscious programming and all of that. This narrative that we create throughout our formative years of basically like our identity at like the root of things, that lives on. That's like deeply ingrained. That's stuff where trauma comes to the surface, we don't even notice that it's happening. If you sit back and actually ask yourself, like, what are my core beliefs? What story am I telling myself every day? Why am I doing these things? Why am I not doing these things? What belief about myself or about my life has created this reaction to whatever is happening right now? Life is a culmination of moments, but it's our reaction to those moments that form like our personal perception of life, of reality. So like the things that are happening in your life, like, yeah, they're happening. A lot of things might be out of your control, but what meaning are you giving it, or what reaction are you having, and like why? People don't really think about these things a lot of the time, but those are the big questions. Those are the things that you ask yourself when you're trying to make change in your life, when you're trying to evolve and grow, is what is like the core of me as a person? What is really my foundational way of being? And like, what parts of that do I want to change? For me, for example, I've formed many beliefs about myself that I want to change. My foundational, like formative years of my life, from being, a child, 5, 6, 7, that range was the most traumatic like portion of my life. So a lot of my core beliefs about myself and about the world became direct reflections of those traumatic events. And so as like an adult looking back, I had to question myself, like, wait a minute, why do I feel this way about myself? Like, why do I feel this way about this situation? Why am I thinking this way? And it's taken a lot of literally being like, no, you're wrong, stop thinking that, and having to replace those beliefs with new ones. For me, I had to take a step back and think, do I want this to be my truth? Is it? Is it even really my truth, or is it just some truth that I've been feeding myself because I was trying to protect myself? How much of your day-to-day life is a defense mechanism? For me, I have certain fears, certain things that hold me back, fear of being abandoned, fear of being like left behind, fear of not being good enough. But that all stems from something in the past. At the end of the day, listen, we live so much in the past because our brains are programmed to, when in reality, the past is in the past. The past doesn't exist. It's not real. It's just something that we're creating in here. And I've struggled with this for a long time because I get upset with myself. Like, why am I letting this thing that happened 14 years ago, 15 years ago, have so much of an effect on me now when I'm such a different person, when I'm trying to do better? And it's because it's the root of the issue. It's the words that I've spoken to myself that have formed these truths, these lies, beliefs. But the thing is that, at the end of the day, you're in control. Whether you see it or not, you are in control over your own life. And I say this over and over again. Even if you're not controlling what's happening to you, because you could say, like, I don't want this to be happening to me, like, I'm not choosing this for myself. You are choosing how you see it and how you respond to it. I didn't choose the things that happened to me that made me the way that I am, but I did choose to change the way that I was looking at it. I did choose to see it as something that was formative for me, something that gave me a different perspective, a different viewpoint on life, on people. What I'm getting at is that if you want to see change in your life, my advice is to start challenging these beliefs that you've formed for yourself. Start replacing these beliefs. Well, first you have to know what they are. Self-reflection is key. What's stopping you from doing the things that you want to do? And this is the way that I talk to myself. Like, the way that I talk to myself is, you are stopping yourself because nobody else is stopping you from anything. Nobody else has control over your life other than you. At the end of the day, nobody is living your life for you. So ask yourself, like, what's really stopping me? Why am I self-sabotaging right now? It's my own beliefs that I am scared to succeed. I am scared to be happy. I'm scared to feel good. Why? Because I'm scared that I'm gonna lose it. To be real, to be 100% fucking real. BFF, be fucking for real. I am terrified of having good things in my life. Point blank, period. I was talking to my friend about this the other day. I'm scared of being happy. And that stems from a belief system where my brain isn't thinking logically. It's thinking based on something that happened in the past, where it's like, okay, you felt joy, time to lose it all, Not to be fucking depressing, but to be real. I've told myself, if you are happy, you are going to lose it. If you care about something, you're gonna lose it. But you know what? I sit here and I talk to myself like a crazy person. I talk to myself. My method of self-reflection is writing. I'll show you. I actually have it right here. I have one of my notebooks, one of my journals. This is how I self-reflect. I write. I talk to myself. I tell myself, bitch, get it together. And I challenge myself and those beliefs because, quite frankly, it's so dumb. To me, I'm talking about myself. Everybody's feelings are valid. Everybody's trauma is valid. I'm not saying that it's not valid. All I'm saying is that it's up to you to decide how you're gonna let it affect the rest of your life, or like the next moment even. We don't have to think that far ahead. We don't have to get crazy. We don't have to think like, oh, my whole life. How's it gonna affect the next minute? How's it gonna affect the next hour? How's it gonna affect the next day? How are these things affecting how you live your day-to-day life? I sit back and I tell myself, logically, does it make any sense whatsoever for you to stop yourself from being happy or feeling fulfilled because you're scared of losing it, because you've lost things in your life? It's better to love and have lost than to have never loved at all, or whatever. Cheesy but true. So I have to constantly fight myself. I have to constantly challenge myself and be like, don't be scared of being a fucking human being, because you're letting your fears stop you from literally living life. And so are your beliefs stemming from fear, or are they stemming from truth? And what is your truth? Your truth is subject to change based on you, based on what you tell yourself, based on what you believe for yourself. Don't limit yourself to thinking that you can't change. If you want to, you can. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Do you believe that for yourself? And here's the thing, you don't necessarily have to believe everything for yourself immediately. You can tell yourself things over and over again until you start to believe it. Lie to yourself. I've lied to myself so much until I believed it. I was really insecure for the longest time. Now I'm not insecure, not in an egotistical way, but I'm just not insecure. I made a list. This is good about me. I like this about me. I love this about me. I like this about me. And I'm not a narcissist. It's not egotistical. People put such a negative connotation on people loving themselves and giving a fuck about themselves, but if you don't do it, who's gonna do it for you? If you don't like yourself, how do you expect anyone else to like you? If you don't love yourself, how do you expect anyone else to love you? People can love you to the extent in which you love yourself. Cheesy, but true. The point is to care about yourself enough to replace these old beliefs that are limiting you, that are holding you back, with new ones that are gonna help you move forward. You might think like, how do I do that? I read a book about habit forming once, and I feel like this is very similar to that. A point that stuck with me was about forming new habits. And the basis of it was to not tell yourself, I'm gonna stop doing this thing. I need to quit doing this. I need to stop doing this. But instead, form a replacement habit, something that you could do in its place that is positive. So that removes the negative connotation behind this thing in which you've been doing. So if you've been telling yourself, I'm not good enough to do this thing or to be this person, instead of telling yourself, I need to stop telling myself that I'm not good enough, tell yourself, I am good enough to be this person or to do this thing. When you have that thought, I'm not good enough, be like, actually, yes, I am. I'm good enough. I am good enough. And tell yourself over and over and over again. Even if you're lying to yourself at first. Trust me. You are going to be lying to yourself at first. And you're gonna feel like you're lying to yourself at first. And it's gonna feel stupid, but stick with it. Consistency over everything. If you are consistent with something, there is no reason for it not to work. Give yourself like a positive affirmation. And along with these things, start doing the actions that line up with these affirmations. It doesn't mean just sit back and say, I am super productive, and then just sit there and do nothing. All of this is a combination of belief and action to match that belief. I'm telling myself, I allow good things into my life. I allow myself to succeed. I welcome success with open arms. I want joy. I want love. I want peace in my life. I am not scared of these things, and I'm continuously doing that. I'll let you know how it goes. But if you want to join me on this, this is why I'm making this video. This is what I've come to terms with, and this is where I'm at right now, and maybe some of you can relate to it, and maybe it'll help. We're all in this together. Tell yourself all of the amazing things about you. Think about the way that you speak to yourself. Be conscious, be present. And it's okay if you fall off. We all fall off all the time. All the time. I go off the rails all the time. But the key isn't in not falling off the wagon. The key is in getting back on. You got this. Cheers. That's it for now. Hope that made sense. Till next time, peace out.